Hey guys, so I'm going to talk about a ghost story. And just to say, this movie, for me, was absolutely phenomenal. It is haunting. It is an incredible film, but I do understand how people could absolutely hate this movie. I loved it. I think it was excellent. It might be my favorite movie of the year and has quickly become, in these past few days, one of my favorite movies of all time. But it has things about it. And the direction by David Lowery is done in a way that it could be extremely off-putting to some people, and I think it could really reach some people like it did me. So, like I said, the movie is directed by David Lowery, who, surprisingly, also directed Pete's Dragon from last year. So you could not get two movies that are on polar opposites of what it is for filmmaking. And that is really a testament to his skill, because this movie is so haunting, so deep, so metaphysical in its nature, and it's just so interesting and original. And then you have Pete's Dragon. While it's not a bad movie, it is very by the numbers. It's very whimsical and childish, and this is not. This is heavy, heavy, heavy stuff. So I'm not really going to go too much in the plot, because the plot itself isn't the important part of the story. In fact, there isn't much of a story going on in this movie, because it's not about a story. It's about an idea. It's about the passage of time and a lot of other concepts. But to try to sum it up for you so you do have some of an idea of what's going on, in the movie, Casey Affleck's character, C, dies in a car crash in the beginning of the movie. And his wife, Rooney Mara, M, is dealing with that while he comes back as a ghost in the sheet, which you saw from the trailers. And it's him trapped in his home, just attached, not being able to move on. And it's his story and his observance of life and time and just a whole range of emotions and human interaction and history. And it's very Terrence Malick in the way that it's filmed and its themes, but he does it in a way that I think is much better than the way Terrence Malick does. I was fully engrossed in this film. I never once felt like this was boring or too meandering or too self-serving or too artistic. While it was very artistic, I never felt like this was doing too much. It was being too obvious in what it was doing, and he did a fantastic job. The performances themselves, while they were pretty decent, they aren't, like I said, they aren't the important part of the story. Casey Affleck is in the sheet for almost the entirety of the movie, so he doesn't speak, he's just there. In fact, his only real interactions with another character are with another ghost that he sees in another building across the street. And that is one of the most haunting moments in the movie, because they interact in these kind of quippy subtitles to each other, and the things that they say to each other really hit you. The ghost that's across the way from him is questioning, who are you? And the ghost says, well, I'm here, I'm waiting for someone. And Casey Affleck's ghost says, who are you waiting for? And the ghost goes, I don't remember. And it shows this passage of time where everything is defeated by time. You forget everything. Everything becomes insignificant in the face of the universe and the passage of time. Rooney Mara's performance was really good. It was better than, obviously, the other characters because they have less screen time than her. And she does an amazing job of showing what it would be like to lose someone you love suddenly, and how everything would seem so mundane, and the little things that make up what mourning is, and getting over the things that happen in your life. There's one scene that is very strange, and I'm not quite sure what the meaning of it was, but she sits down at one point, and she eats an entire pie. Like, I'm not kidding. She sits there and eats the whole pie. You watch it. It's probably 6-7 minutes long, and it goes on far longer than is comfortable to watch. And I'm not sure what they were going for there, other than the fact that she's just doing something, just trying to occupy herself, trying to just do anything to get over the fact that she lost someone that she loved about so much. There's some very haunting aspects about this film. Casey Affleck's character, the ghost, is just around. He's just in the frame, and while it is following his story, it's him observing life and observing what becomes of this home that he loved so much. While to him it was him and his wife and where they were building their life, you see another family come in. You see this happy family, and you can see that it bothers him that something is happening. Someone's taking over his home, and he does have some interactions. He does have some ghost aspects to him. He's not just a observer that can't interact with people. He does grab plates and throw them like in a poltergeist style, and they leave. And then you bring in another group of people, which is like these hipster kids and everything. And there's one part in the movie where those characters have a conversation, and the conversation pretty much outlines the entire themes of the movie. How the passage of time is the ultimate defeater, and no matter what you do in life, your legacy essentially will mean nothing. Whether you're the most amazing person in the world or the least important person in the world, in reality, it's about what you do and who you care about and being able to move on and exist and just endure. While when you think about it and you try to make yourself larger than life and exceed life, go past your existence, there's really no point, because at the end of the day, everything returns to ash, everything returns to nothing. And that brings me to the next point in the movie. The way it's shot, it isn't an exactly linear movie. The timeline of what's happening is constantly changing for the ghost. He's sitting there and he's watching this passage of time. So you will see a character walk out of the door and come through the door days later, and it will just repeat itself. And it's him just sitting there watching this passage of time from when he dies to when the house becomes this huge apartment complex. It's demolished, and then it's the future. And he goes out and he sees that, it's not anything like it was for him. It's an office building. And at that point, it reverts back to the beginning. So you have a cyclical line of what time is. And when he returns back to the beginning of time, to when the house was first discovered by settlers, and you see what it came from to reach back to where he was existing in real life, it's very haunting. You see this, that these people that lived there before him, it was important to them, and it was an important area to them, and they returned to the earth. They were gone. There's a scene where you're seeing a person decay. You're seeing them completely disappear into the earth. The next thing you know, he's in his home again. It was built on top of where these people died. And it's just so haunting and so mesmerizing. And the fact that time it takes over everything. Nothing is important. Whatever you think is important, whatever you think is vital, and that you need this to be successful, or you need this to continue, or be bigger than life, or be so important, it doesn't matter. Because in the end, you should just live your life and care about the people you care about and just grow. Don't worry about the things that will happen. Don't worry about the past, or even worry about the future, because in reality, it all ends up being nothing. And while for some people that can be very bleak, and it does have a very bleak feeling to it, in the end you feel almost relieved. You feel like he's finally, at the end of the movie, he's able to move on. He's able to accept what has happened to him and accept that his life is over. And that is a haunting part of the movie, because in the whole movie he's trying to find something that'll let him let go. Because when he first dies, he has the ability, you have this portal, and he's able to go through to the other side, and he can't do it. He has so much left to live for. He wants to go see his wife. He wants to just, he feels like he wasn't able to move on from that home that he loved so much and he was locked into. And then he finally is able to let go. And that part of the movie is incredible for me, and it really touched me. Something about this movie really struck me. When I first left the theater, I was like, this was a really good movie. I really liked it. And then I thought about it. I thought about it all night. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning thinking about this movie. And it is something else. It's an incredible film, but it really isn't for everyone. And I can tell that there were people in the theater that hated it. They wanted to leave. They didn't want anything to do with this movie. And I implore you, if you like these movies, if you like A24, if you like existential thought, go see this movie. This movie is incredible. But if you don't like that stuff, if you just want to go to a movie and you just want to be able to sit back, enjoy it, have a good time, just not really pay attention, don't think a whole lot, this isn't the movie for you. This movie will have you thinking, and it'll stick with you. It'll stick right back there, and you will think about it all day, all the next day. And I think it's something I'll take with me forever. It's a great movie, and I cannot wait to see it again. So if I were going to rate it, I'm probably going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's held back slightly from being a perfect movie because it does lack that entertainment value. That it's you have to talk about it in a movie. Whether you love it, you love the themes, you love everything about it, it has to entertain, and you have to see how it would reach other people. For me, it may be almost a perfect movie, but as a critical standpoint, the fact that people could hate this movie makes it hard to give it a 10. Because while I think it's almost perfect in its execution and its themes and in the way it's shot and everything about it, it does have a lingering, haunting, unsettling style to it that really does not reach a lot of people. And I think a lot of people that will see this movie will hate this movie. But I think there are some people that will see this movie like me, and it will be transformative. It is incredible. And if you saw this movie, let me know what you thought about it, because I think there is going to be a huge, wide range of things that people think about this movie. And it meant something to me that might mean something completely different to you. That's the thing about it. It's a little ambiguous with what it's telling and what it's saying, that I think it could reach people in a different way. So guys, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you next time.